Hello, this is Nina here. I'm going to be your yoga teacher for the next roughly 45 minutes for this yoga practice at YogaHara at home. It's a great basic asana practice for you to really practice at home whenever you have a moment and you're able to take care of yourself. And I really recommend that you do this simple practice as often as you can for your well-being. So today we're going to use some props. Most of them really might be optional, so you might not need them, but I'm sitting on a block myself right now, so you may want to grab a block for yourself. And I also have a blanket and 2 belts and a bolster, just a basic kit. So see how you go, and if you need to use those props, and I'll talk you through everything as well, so there they are. So just for the first few minutes, let's just close our eyes. So get into a comfortable posture, sitting posture. I'm here cross-legged, but you can also sit in virasana or any other comfortable seating posture. And just finding a neutral spine, making sure that your pelvis and your legs are in a comfortable, grounded position. And then feeling that length growing through the whole spine, imagining that string maybe at the crown of the head, gently pulling you up from the waistline, that uplifting energy, and then grounding down from the waistline down. Dropping the shoulders, and as I said, maybe closing the eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. And also coming to a nostril breathing, so gently closing the eyes, the mouth, and breathing through the nostrils, if that's available to you. And just taking a little moment to settle in. Bring yourself to this space. Feel yourself sitting on the mat. And as best you can, just leaving at the background all those things that you did before this home practice. And also not yet quite going in your mind into all those things that are waiting for you after the home practice. So really just coming into the present moment, the sensations in the body, connecting with the feelings, emotions, mental activity, and maybe just feeling a couple of obvious sensations in the physical body. So maybe some contact points into the floor, maybe the clothes against the skin, or the temperature in the air. If there's any comfort or discomfort in the body, anything really, any sensation is okay. There's no right or wrong sensation here. Just noticing. And as you do that, just notice how your mind is in the present moment. And maybe also noticing now 1 or 2 subtle sensations, something that you usually don't pay attention to so much. Such as the air passing through the nostrils, in and out. Or maybe the jaw maybe gently engaged. Can you soften it perhaps a little bit, or something like that? So building up that picture, how am I feeling, how am I doing in this moment? Moment to moment awareness. And now gently bringing your attention to your breath. So just for a couple of rounds of spontaneous, normal breathing, simply allow the breath to do what it wants and simply notice. Where do I feel the breath the easiest? And from here, maybe coming into a more engaged type of breathing. So if you are familiar with the abdominal diaphragmatic breathing, then you're welcome to engage that. So deep, full belly breathing in and out through the nostrils. Keep it soft and comfortable and deep. or maybe even yogic full breath or ujjayi breath, if that's something that's already part of your practice. So gently activating that more controlled breathing and just noticing how it feels to engage it. Turning your attention inwards, allowing yourself to be fully present, and deep, full, comfortable breathing. You may also add add an intention, so quietly in your mind, reminding yourself why you are practicing right now, so your intention, something that comes at the same time from your heart and your mind, something that's meaningful, practical, and something that's really important for you. So a simple intention. And breathe. And then just allow that intention to kind of slide to the background. You don't need to think about it or remember it in any particular ways, but it's there just to guide you for this whole session. Another breath. Good. And from here, let's then open the eyes gently. And mentally starting to get ready for a more active part of this class. So we are moving into the asanas from here in a gentle way. So I'll ask you now to just bring your hands on the sides of the body first, looking up with the eyes, not so much lifting the head, but just tall spine and looking up. And with an inhalation, bring your hands in a big circle. Breathing in, palms together at the top, and then turn those palms out, engaging those arms and hands and fingers, and exhale, bring them back down. Another time, when it's time to breathe in, turn the palms up. Lots of life and energy in those palms and arms. Bring them together at the top and turn the palms out. Exhale, engaging even the fingertips a little bit, and bring them down. One more time, inhale, looking up. And exhale again. And one last time, really being present to that breath and that movement. Great. And exhale, coming down. And from here, if you're sitting on something like a block, then just take it aside. Put it away. We don't need it for right now. And just come into a gentle downward facing dog. So bringing your hands shoulder width apart, spreading your fingers out, walking backwards a bit with the feet, hip width apart, feet and knees, tucking your toes under, engaging your hands, arms, legs, everything gently, starting to lift yourself up. Tall spine, take a deep breath in, lift the knees off the floor, and exhale, coming to gentle downward dog. So because this is one of the first poses in this session, just make it very gentle. No need to go into any strong poses here, but just more like a warm-up dog. And breathing in and out 2-3 rounds, dropping the shoulders gently away from the ears. Allow the sensations coming to your awareness and breathe. And maybe even bending now, one knee at a time, just left, right at your own time. Just feeling into any stretches or any tension or anything that's really there, or maybe that lovely release that might come with that. Good, and then let's straighten both knees at the same time, keeping the knee joints soft. One last breath here. And then bend the knees, look forward, and with the right leg first, let's step a couple of little steps. Come to the front of the mat or as far as is available and comfortable to you. And now bend the knees, strong legs. Relax your back muscles as best you can. Open the palms sideways and lifting yourself up with strong legs, palms over the head. Turn those palms once again out and exhale, coming into mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and out and find your mountain pose. So feet can be either apart like this, or if you prefer, they can also be together. See which way you prefer. And really grounding yourself into those feet, and from the waistline down, feeling your strong legs, keeping yourself stable. And from the waistline up, you feel that there's a lovely uplifting, energetic energy going through the body. Good. So let's move from here into our sun salutation. We'll do a cat and cow version of the sun salutation, so we will integrate cat and cows into the sequence. So we'll do it 4 times. I'm going to first lead with the left leg, and then I'll do it with the right leg, then left leg, and then right leg. So come and follow me, and let's enjoy. So let's open the palms once again. Inhale, big circles with the arms, palms together. Then palms out. As you exhale, bend the knees, coming into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Straighten the knee a little bit here. And if you need to bring your hands up, you can bring them on the sides like this. Inhale, looking up, come to a gentle back bend. Look over the eyebrows into the ceiling or to the wall. And then bend the knees again, separate the hands, bring them on the front of the mat. And then left foot first, a couple of little steps, downward facing dog. Come on all fours, tuck the toes under perhaps here, hip width apart knees, and a couple of cat and cows here. So inhale, coming into cow pose. Start the movement from the hips, so vertebra by vertebra, starting from the hips, head comes up last. And now the opposite movement, from the hips first, coming into cat pose, head comes last, again looking towards the navel. Inhale again, strong hands, strong knees, strong feet. Lift the sitting bones high up, keep your belly slightly in, and exhale, cat pose. Concaving and convexing the back. Once again, inhale. And next time, exhale, come into neutral spine, take a deep breath in, and on an exhalation, lift the knees off the floor and come into downward dogs as you breathe out. 2, 3 long breaths here. And again, keep your Tadasana spine here, so not dropping the head completely down. Keep it there in between the arms. Drop the shoulders gently away from the ears and engage your leg muscles. Now if your heels are off the floor or knees need to be bent a bit, that's totally fine. Just work with the body that you have and enjoy the movement and the breath. Even the static. It's not quiet movement, it's more static. So just feeling into that stillness in the body at the same time. Great. And then let's move on. Look forward, bend the knees, left foot first, a couple of little steps, front of the mat. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend the knees before you come up, big circles, coming over the head with the arms, hands, and exhale, mountain pose. So that was a slow movement of the sun salutation. Now we'll do it another few times, a bit more speed, with the right leg, this one leading the way. So starting from mountain pose, hands out, inhale, looking already up, palms together, separate them, turn them out, exhale, Uttanasana. Straighten the knees a little bit more here, bring the hands a bit high up if you need to. Half lift, look over the eyebrows, bend the knees, hands down, right foot, couple of little steps, downward dog. Hip width apart feet. Bring your knees on the ground and inhale, cow pose. Vertebra by vertebra, head comes up last, and exhale, cat. Keep the belly button slightly in here, just keeping your core active. Inhale again, and exhale again, cat. One last time, inhale, and exhale, find your neutral spine, lift your knees off the floor, and next time when you breathe out, downward dog. 3 breaths here. So activate your hands, activate your fingers. Press all the bases of every finger into the mat. So sometimes those bases of the thumbs and the index fingers want to lift up. So how can I keep them down? How can I activate my whole hand? And same thing with the feet, whatever touches on the ground, make sure that you
keep that engagement into the mat, groundedness. Good. After the next breath, so at the next inhalation, starting to look forward already, bend the knees and with the right foot first, a couple of little steps to the front. Exhale, Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Bend your knees before you come up. Separate the hands, arms sideways, open and come up. And back, exhale, mountain pose. One more time, a little bit more speed again this time, but keep it comfortable for you. Follow your breath rhythm. Inhale up. Turn the palms out, exhale down. Straighten the knees a little bit. Inhale, half lift. Hands can be on the ground or off the ground. Bend the knees, hands, Hastabandha hands. Left foot first, downward dog. All fours. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale again. And exhale, cat. One last time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, neutral spine. Lift your knees off the floor as you breathe in. And exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths. So check in with your foundation, the hands and the feet. Check in with your sitting bones. Can I bring them up? Can I straighten and lengthen my knees without locking the knee joints? So keep all the joints always soft. Open the shoulder girdles and drop the shoulders down. One last breath, and at the end of that next exhalation, bend the knees, look forward with the left foot first, a couple of little steps forward. Exhale down. Bend the knees, strong legs, relax back muscles coming up, and exhale down. One last time, right hand side leading the way. Inhale over the head, turn the palms, exhale, Uttanasana. Straightening the knees here, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend the knees, hands fully down, and right foot first, a couple of steps, downward dog. On all fours, and a couple of rounds, cat and cow. Inhale, keep that core gently active, so that you keep the spine in a safe space, and not compromising any of that health of the spine, but really just keep ourselves safe all the time. One last time, inhale, cow pose, and then next neutral spine, and exhale, coming into downward dog. Deep breathing, feeling into the sensations. After your 3rd breath, getting ready, look forward, bend the knees, right foot first, walk to the front of the mat, exhale, Uttanasana, bend the knees, strong legs coming up over the head, and exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a deep breath in and out here, just feeling and reconnecting with any sensation. Let's just let go of that sequence. Let's really come back into the present moment. And instead of thinking of the past pose, just really feel the effect of it right now here. So mindful movement, a mindful practice. Great. So from here we'll move into a little bit stronger standing poses. Again, you can easily decide how strong or how soft you would like to go. So if it's too, so you can really regulate yourself quite easily how soft or strong you want to go. So let's try. And if you have been coming to my classes before, you probably remember exactly how this goes and how we're going to do it. It's not very difficult at all. So fierce pose, and then we'll come into high plank and downward facing dog. So come and stand at the front of the mat once again. Now, if it's available to you, would like maybe bring your feet together. If you have any strong reasons to keep them apart, that's also fine. Just for the sake of the balance, people often feel it's a bit easier to keep the feet together. But see how you go and adjust as you need to. So Tadasana spine once again. Let's turn the palms out. Bring those hands over the head as you breathe in. Now you have a few options here. Either keep the palms fully together, like this. You can separate them
as much as you need to, or you can even bring the arms down if you have any concerns about your arms coming fully up. So either way is fine. See again what you need to adjust. So take a deep breath, here's full Tadasana here. And on an exhalation, bending the knees and the hips and sliding gently forward with the chest, and maintain your Tadasana spine and come low with your hips, as low as is available to you. Now again, if you would like to come a bit higher up, you can just stay somewhere here. If you'd like to go a little bit more dynamic, you can really come really low. Now one of the key points here is that don't make it into a back bend. Remember it's a Tadasana spine, a neutral spine. So tilting the pelvis sufficiently towards the heels so that you are working from a Tadasana spine here. And breathe. Another 1 or 2 breaths. Straighten the elbows a little bit more. Drop the shoulders down. And at the next exhalation, bring your hands to Anjali and separate the feet. Bring them on the ground. And with the left foot first, a couple of steps, coming into downward facing dog. However, we won't stay in downward dog. We'll slide on an inhalation to high plank. Now again, you have the option. Either bring your knees down, keep your core active, or you may want to come to a more dynamic version where your knees are fully off the ground. If you keep your feet separate, it's a bit less intensive. So a couple of options here. Keep your lower back, your whole body safe. Breathe. Another breath or 2. Keep your core active. And at the next exhalation, sliding into downward facing dog. Bring your knees on the ground. Big toes together, plantar flex the feet. And any version of child's pose, maybe the hands behind the hips, like this. Or maybe over the head, like this. If you have a block nearby, you may want to bring it under the forehead. Or maybe just 2 fists on top of each other under the forehead. And then just stay and rest. Just staying present to the sensations and feel the breath. Notice what's going on. Great, another last breath. And from here, let's bring the hands now forward, shoulder width apart hands. Yes, and we're coming into downward facing dogs first here, and we'll move into a lunge. So come on all fours, tuck the toes under, walk with your feet a little bit backwards, hip width apart feet, get your arms supported and strong, same with the legs, and engaging the core gently, lift yourself, knees off the floor, exhale, downward facing dog, and just getting ready now with the left foot first. Let's bend the left foot, look forward, and come and lift that foot, maybe fully between the hands, like here. If you land with your foot here, you can simply just help with your hand like this and bring it with the help of that hand in between both hands at the front. Good. Now let's bring that right knee on the ground first, just to make ourselves a bit comfortable first, and then lifting up from here into a simple lunge. Now just be careful not to open that hip joint on the other side too strongly. So be mindful of where your maximum comfortable spot is. And now let's interlace the fingers and bring those hands behind the head. There's a 50-50 pressure, 50% pressing into the hands and hands pressing 50% into the head. So support and stability. Good. Now we're going to come into a gentle back bend from here in a moment, but those of you who'd like to have a bit more of an intense or more dynamic version of this pose, you're welcome to lift your knee off the floor here. And if you'd rather be on the ground, then that's totally fine. There's no right or wrong version here, so really just feel what your body's wanting to do right now and work with what you have. Good, and from here let's gently come into a back bend, so breathe in, look over towards the ceiling, gentle back bend, but not lifting the head so much. It comes from the torso, from the heart center and from the spine. The eyes simply help me to go into that right direction. Stable feet, stable legs, one more breath. And then let's release those hands and come and bring those hands on the ground at the front and lifting that left foot up and come into downward facing dog. Bring your knees on the ground, plant of your feet, and once again child's pose. And rest. Breathe and feel. And while you are here in child's pose, just notice the way how you are in child's pose. So there's a length in the spine at the same time. So bring your sitting bones as close to the heels down and backwards as is available to you. And at the same time, bring the ribs, the floating ribs and the upper body and the forehead as far towards the front of your mat as is available to you. So creating space, lots of space in the whole torso. And then just breathing and feeling, noticing what's going on, and lighten and relax the mind. One last breath. Good, and let's then come up from here. Once again, we'll go the other side in that lunge. So separate your feet, bring your hands a bit forward if you need to. Inhale, lift the knees off the floor, and downward facing dog first. And now let's bend the knees and the right foot in between the hands. And remember, if you landed here with your foot, you simply can help with that hand and lift it, the foot fully to the front. Again, bring your knee on the ground if you need to. Come and lift yourself up. Check in with the hips, with the body, with the stability, the balance. Interlace the fingers. 50-50 pressure, taking a deep breath in, getting ready, and then lifting yourself up if you choose so. And again, if you prefer to have that knee on the ground, perfectly fine. Now focus for a moment on your feet, on your foundation, on your legs, making sure that you are stable and happy there, and then just breathing and feeling for the rest of the body as well. And then come into a back bend, looking up with the eyes. Inhale. And opening that back of the knee. So really strong back knee, strong back leg. One last breath. And then let's release the hands. Come and bring them on the ground. And lifting that right foot, downward facing dog. And one last time, child's pose for a couple of rounds of breathing. And just let go in the body, let go in the mind, let go as much as feels right, as much as is here, just feeling, not thinking so much, but really coming into the sensations. Good. All right, now let's lift up from here, come on all fours. And this time, if you'd like to potentially sit on something, we're coming into Parvatasana, Virasana, so hands over head hero. So what I'm going to do, just to demonstrate, you can bring your block this way and place it right under the sitting bone, so not too far towards the legs like this if you can see, but really just at the edge so that you are comfortably there in your Virasana. Now if you don't need the block, some of you may prefer not to work with the block, you can just come and sit straight on the ground. See how you go again and use the block for your body to support it in whatever ways you feel that is necessary. Great. So in Virasana, the idea is first of all to have a strong foundation, so the legs and the pelvis, and also if you can just activating the leg muscles and the feet gently, not too hard, but just feel that there's that activation of the muscles, and that will help you to work through the whole pose for a few moments as we go through it. And then we'll interlace the fingers and bend your elbows, and we're going to straighten the elbows now, but just make sure that you're keeping those elbow joints safe, so not hyperextending in any ways. Use your muscular activation and bring them engaged like this towards the knees first. And then feeling into that neutral spine once again. Sitting bones equally, my legs are still engaged, and my arms are safely activated. Even my every single finger is activated. Even if they don't quite touch each other, they are still activated. Drop the shoulders down. Good. And gently pushing away through those palms towards my knees. So my whole body is gently active, apart from a couple of places like the face or the jaw doesn't need to be clenched. So running that consciousness through your body all the time. Where do I need to work? Where can I soften and let go? Good. And the next inhalation, lifting those arms to the heart center level. Gently pushing away through those palms out, activating the arms. And deep, full breathing. Are my legs still active? Is my face still soft? Is my focus on the breath, on the sensations? Good. And at the next inhalation, coming up. Drop the shoulders down, not pushing the chest out. Keep that Tadasana spine. Exhale, drop the head maybe a little bit down, like chin lock, Chalandara Bandha. My elbows are still open and relatively straight. Good. Next inhalation, bring the head up again. And exhale, drop the hands towards the heart center level. Still active in my legs. Breathe in and out. And at the next out breath, hands towards the knees. Mental focus, lightness of the mind. Breathe. Good. And then let's release the hands. Just bring the hands on the knees without hyperextending those elbows. Just open the elbows slightly forward, allowing those shoulder girdles really to open out. And you still feel that activation in the arms, the hands, the shoulder girdles, the whole upper body. Breathe. Another 1 or 2 breaths. Great. And from here we're going to go into downward face hero now. Just going to turn it to the side, but you can stay exactly where you are. So simply lifting off with your sitting bones slightly. And if your big toes were not yet separate, then just come and separate those big toes a little bit. Give your knees a little bit more space so that your torso has space to go in between. And bringing your hands forward and opening your shoulder girdles, sliding forward. Bring your sitting bones down towards the mat. And before you bring anything else at the front body down on the ground, just create that space first and breathe. So really encouraging those floating ribs and the arms to travel forward first, then drop those shoulders one last time away from the ears. So there's a bit of a dual action going on here. And now if you feel comfortable, maybe resting the forehead and the elbows on the ground. And breathe and let go. And enjoy. Great. Another last breath. And then activating the arms as best you can at the same time. Bring both hands at the same time back up. And from here we're coming and moving into the gate pose, Parigasana. So once again, if you'd like to use a block, you're welcome to do so. I'm going to place it here on my side, tucking the toe under on one at the back foot. And it's bent here, so coming into this kind of a position. And the other leg is nice and open and engaged slightly. So pointing forward with this straight leg's foot, and the other one is pointing backwards. And as best you can, see if you can level your hips. So you can feel already there's a bit of a activation in the hip joints and in the legs here. Now this is here just for creating you the right height in a moment. You can also go without the block fully on the ground. So I'm just going to use the block here for myself this time, and you'll see how you go for yourself. Okay, so let's bring that hand, release it first, and just bring it there or on the ground, up to you which way you want to go. Then let's open the palm on the other side, bring that arm in, up, and exhale over the body near the ear, and even turning the head, drop the shoulders down once again, and look towards the opposite direction. Great. And breathe. Running consciousness through the whole body as you are in this pose. And then after that next out breath, see if you can lift that straight leg just an inch or so off the floor. So you may need to adjust that block or your hand position slightly. And the leg doesn't need to go high. It just needs to lift a tiny bit. And notice what effect it has on the body and on the breath. Good. Placing it back down like a snowflake, isn't it? And then bring that hand back down with lots of awareness and balance, coming fully up once again. Let's come into the other side. So straighten this hand and support yourself. Inhale, arm up. Inhale again, drop the shoulders down. And exhale, gentle sliding flexion towards the side. Turn the head towards the opposite direction. So giving your head and the neck also gentle stretch. Another breath here. Good, and exhale, coming up, down once again to the center, release the legs, and let's go to the other side. So adjust that block if you need it. I'm just going to come a bit on this side, and same thing. So pointing forward with this foot, pointing backwards with that dorsiflex foot, and same thing. First just check into your hips, into your Tadasana spine as best you can, just come into your neutral spine. Good, and now let's place that hand wherever height you wanted it to be, supporting yourself there. Inhale, lifting that arm up. Exhale towards the full side, and turn the head and find your Parigasana. Drop the shoulders down, release the joint, the jaw. Good. And then lifting that foot up just a little bit. Adjust your block or adjust your other hand if you need to. And notice what effect it has on the leg and the body, the whole body and the breath as well. And the mental focus. And placing it slowly down. And coming up from here, inhale, other side. Take a breath in between if you need to. Once again, inhale, lengthen the body. And exhale, giving the other side a nice big openness. Turn the head, give your neck and head area a bit of a releasing twist at the same time. Good. And at the next breath coming up, coming back to the neutral on the knees, kneeling a little bit, and let's put that brick aside. We don't need that most likely anymore. And this time we'll come into Cobra, so a gentle back bend here. So come and lie on the belly, fully on the mat as best you can, so that the feet are on the mat. The head doesn't matter so much if it's not fully on the mat, because we are not going to use it in this pose on the mat itself. So just come and plant, flex your feet and bring your inner ankles, inner knees as close together, maybe even touching the ankles at least. And bring your hands under the armpit shoulder area. Drop the shoulders down and keep those elbows shoulder width apart, quite close to the body. Now pressing down with the feet, so the feet stay on the ground the whole time. They don't lift off into the air. My legs are activating as well, and my buttocks. and I'm pressing my pubic bone gently into the ground. And from here, take a deep breath in, and on an exhalation, come into cobra, lifting the head up, looking over the eyebrows. But find that right balance for your head and neck area. So not jamming into that neck like this, but you really just keep it soft, lift it only as much as is comfortable, and then working through the feet, the legs, the buttocks, and lifting up. So when you keep your hands off the ground like this, it's quite safe for the lower spine. So keep yourself safe, keep that back in a good spot. Good, another last breath. And exhale, coming down. Place your hands on the ground, turn your head to the side and just rest for 2-3 breaths. Maybe even closing the eyes. And after that next breath, let's do it one more time. Exactly the same thing. So getting ready, feet together, knees together, engaging the legs, buttocks, inhale, and exhale, coming up. Bring your hands with you into the air. So you can easily control how high you want to go. Again, there's no right or wrong height. It's really only about the comfortable maximum that you are choosing in this particular moment. Staying here for another 2 breaths maybe. Full deep breathing. And then exhale, bring your hands down, turn the head to the other side. Great. Now let's come up from here. So let me see. We'll come into happy baby and supine spinal twist. So other 1 or 2 asanas before we are going into relaxation. But before we do that, so let's just come through a gentle little squat sequence. And if this for any reason doesn't suit you, then just come any other way and lying on the ground on your back. So the little squat sequence is tucking your toes under, walk with your hands towards the knees, lift the knees off the floor, and I'm just walking a bit forward so I have a bit more space at the back. If you would like to just bring your hands on the ground, on the sides of the mat, pressing down and forward, and allow that movement down and forward, allow that to help you to open the hips and the groins, and maybe bring your heels closer to the ground. Now they don't need to fully be on the ground like this, the heels. If you just stay even somewhere there, that's perfectly fine. You'll just need to work slightly more on your balance. So what we'll do from here, once you are in a good balance here, release your hands, flip those arms to the back, and find yourself on all fours on the other side. Yes, there we go. Open the chest, sit down, tummy and thigh muscles. Coming into Dandasana. Make sure that your feet are at the edge, so you have enough space at the front of the mat or at the other side of the mat. Inhale over the head and exhale vertebra by vertebra without lifting your heels off the floor. Come and place yourself fully on the ground. Now you may want to use 2 belts in this pose. Happy baby pose, or you may not need them. So see again if you want to use them, keep them nearby. And I'll just first show you how you can use the belts if that is your choice. Otherwise you can just perfectly well just use your hands on the edges of the feet. So we lie on the ground, on the back, bend your knees, come and bring your feet towards the front and place your 2 belts at the level of the ball of the foot. So not in the arches of the foot, but on the balls of the feet. So this is one option. So it allows you to give yourself as much space as you need to. If you'd like to just use fully straight, plain hands, then you grab your feet from the outside near that little toe, and then we work from here. So number 1, tall spine, Tadasana spine. See if you can bring your sacrum and lower spine to the ground. Number 2, bring your Knees close to the armpit chest area, so armpits. And then number 3, bring your heels towards the knees, right above the knees. It's kind of a vertical line here. So no feet together. See if you can separate them and be that vertical line. The upper body can really just mostly relax here or minimally engage. And just allowing the groins, the hips to get a open breathing support. So breathing in and out. Once again, consciously. Soften wherever you can soften. Good. One more time. And from here, at the end of that exhalation, release the hands. Now let's straighten that left leg only, and the other leg, the other foot, come and place that foot above your opposite knee. Now if it's too close to your upper body, you don't want to kind of bring it this far, then you can bring it also under the knee. See where you want to be with that. Opposite hand comes over that knee. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Lift that right side of the body off the floor. Turn the left foot towards the ground and also bring that right knee towards the ground on the opposite side. Now my head is going to turn to the opposite direction. Bring my right hand shoulder level, open the palm, and keep that right hand active. Keep my left leg active as well. So all those straight limbs are actually active here. They're not falling asleep. Take a deep breath in, create space in the body, and exhale. Come a little bit deeper in your pose. 4 cardinal directions that work here. So down, sideways, up, and other side as well. Deep, full breathing, and enjoy. And one last breath. At the end of your exhalation, come back to the center. Let's take either those 2 belts once again, if you wanted to do it with the belts, or just with your hands. One more time, happy baby pose. So bring your whole body on the ground, torso, lower back, sacrum, knees towards the armpits, heels under over the knees in a vertical line, and relax the upper body as best you can. Allow the groins and the hips to soften, to relax, and to stretch gently. And use your breath. Use your breath for that purpose. So inhale, create space, and exhale. Move into that space that you've just created. One last breath. Great. Exhale and release. The right leg straightens completely on the ground. Keep it active so it doesn't fall asleep. And that other foot comes on the thigh above the knee or below the knee. See where you want to go. Opposite hand. Take a deep breath in and coming into your twist and open that other hand and arm, shoulder level. Look with your eyes towards the fingertips. Keep both shoulder blades as best you can on the ground. And come into your full twist. So breathe in, create space. And breathe out, move into that space a bit deeper. And feel the whole body. Good. Another last breath. We stay on each side equally much, the same amount of time. And then release, inhale, come back to the center, just find your neutral position first. Great. And before we go into Shavasana, deep relaxation, let's just rock on the sacrum and soften the whole body a little bit more. So just bring your knees up a little bit. They don't need to do anything in particular, the feet and the knees, just kind of rocking from side to side. Just softening wherever feels right for you, just letting go that lovely, beautiful work that we've just done in the whole hip and joint areas there. Maybe even clockwise movements a few times and anti-clockwise. Remember to breathe and stay breath focused. Good. maybe a little butterfly just to finish off. Just a couple of little moments here. You may already want to close your eyes, just noticing how it's starting to wind down and your body is starting to soften and quieten. And you can help that relaxation response coming into that breath and deep exhalation one more time. Great. And then just whenever you're ready, come and place yourself fully in Shavasana. So just put those props away. And making sure that my body is fully on the mat. I'm just checking all the sides. Yes, fully supported, symmetrical, balanced feeling, hands open. Or you can also keep them there symmetrically on the belly or somewhere in the body, feet apart, tucking the chin down, dropping the shoulders. Take sometimes a moment, a minute or two to really get into that comfortable space. And then just closing your eyes and let go of everything as best you can. Allowing it really to come in. There's no such thing as I have to relax now, but really just gradually allowing the body to soften. Maybe scanning through the body, starting from the feet and traveling towards the head, or the other way around, whatever feels more accessible. And part by part, just softening the muscles, softening the skin, softening all the body parts. You can take another breath or two just to allow, like really deeply breathing in and out, to allow that softness and that relaxation to come in. So staying awake and staying alert for the whole time of Shavasana. So that way we really wire that relaxation response in a conscious way into our system, into our body, into our mind. And the more we practice it like this consciously, the more it's available to us whenever we need it. So just with a light mind, light focus, stay present to that relaxation and that deepening of the relaxation. Noticing the feet, noticing the legs, noticing the front body, the back body, and everything in between. The hands, the arms, the shoulders, and the neck. Maybe swallowing once or twice to allow the throat and the tongue and the stomach to relax. And also noticing the closed eyes, and see if you can soften and quieten the movement of the eyes. Keeping the teeth gently separate and the tongue just rests there at the roof of the mouth. Soften the jaw once again. And soften the whole head, the whole face. Allowing the eyebrows to drop a bit deeper sideways. So maximizing that space in between the eyebrows. Quietening of the mind, slowing down the thoughts, and creating space between the thoughts. And bringing yourself into a nice, soft, deep space. And we'll stay here in silence for another last little moment. And as we start to come to the end of this Shavasana, see if you can bring your awareness back to the breath, just noticing the breath gently flowing in and out at its own rhythm, noticing how it feels to just lie here and do nothing else, just be and breathe and lie. And then at your own time, take a deep breath in and out, just bring movement back to the lungs, to the body, gently through the breath first. And now starting to wiggle the hands and the feet, and roll your ankles and your wrists. And just notice that connection to the physical body once again. And finally give your whole body a good stretch in any ways that feels right. Maybe bring your hands over the head. The whole body gets beautiful stretch, and maybe even bending the knees or something, and yawning or anything. Another deep breath in and out. And then just come and lie on the recovery position. So I'm going to bend one knee. The other one is still straight for me, and just come and lie on the recovery position for a tiny little moment, noticing the contrast of being in this way. And from here, with lots of awareness still keeping inside, so not engaging with the outside world quite yet. Let's come into a sitting posture. You're welcome to keep the eyes still closed if you wish. And just for last little moment, noticing how it feels to have practiced yoga for the past some time. keeping an open and non-judgmental mind. Simply noticing. And including metta into our practice, sending metta out to our dear friends, families, pets, colleagues, to the whole world, and being open to receive all that positive love and thoughts and care from anyone out there in the world who is sending it to us. May you be safe from harm of all kinds, inner and outer. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be strong in body and mind. May you live in the ease of well-being. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.